Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Is this working? Is this working? How's everyone doing? Has you got your ears blasted out? Good morning, happy Monday morning. Everyone doing well? Sorry we started a few minutes late. We want to make sure everyone got enough donuts. Please eat the donuts. Meryl and I baked them all night long. So we just slapped some other sticker on it. No, there's donuts, there's coffee, water. If you brought anything else in your cups, don't tell us. HR's in the room. Where's HR? Oh, there they are. They didn't even want to raise their hand. Front and center. All right, so welcome. Thank you for coming to this gathering. I had a quick question before we get started. Does Monday mornings work? I know this is a dumb question, too, at the same time. You don't have to raise your hands. You're not going to get called out. KETN's here. They're going to capture everyone who facial expressions, and I'll run it through AI or whatever that could be done. Does Monday mornings work for this meeting to happen, or would you like it on a different day? Monday, you all like Mondays. Great way to start the day. Don't have to go to work straight off the bat. Okay. All right, so we'll keep it on Mondays just as we're planning next year. The next time we get together, we will be at the Kern Room at the Bell Tower. So just mark on your calendars. There's no date yet, but mark on your calendar. Bell Tower, you don't have to come here. You can find parking and everything. Want to thank the Women's Club for allowing us to come and crash in their building again and allowing us to use this. Today we have an action-packed agenda. We're going to start off with the kids platform. Dr. Gonzalez is going to come up here. Where's he at? Where's Eddie? Oh, there you are. Eddie's over there, ready to go. Now, I will warn you, Eddie is very lively. If you have not been through a event with him, a presentation, he's very lively. He demands participation. That's why I made you bring your computers. It is not for you to start Googling and doing emails and doing all those other kind of stuff. We will be going onto the kids platform. Now, some of you may think, I don't go on that. I don't have to do it with my position. I don't have anything to do with budgets. I just get told yes or no by somebody else. Well, today you're in luck. You still have to participate. And the reason why is you are still part of that process. So whether you approve a budget, build a budget, spend money or not, you are part of that. And so we wanted to make sure that everyone who is in a leadership role at KCSOS has an understanding of where they can go and what they can look at. Whether you have access or kids or not, that's we can look at that later. Some of you may not have it because of the nature of your position. But if you do have kids, just know that there is a portion of the kids platform beyond just student data where you can get information that will make your life a lot easier. Now, if you are in the budget development and budget process, you have to rely on QSS or QCC. What's it called now, Maria? QCC? Both? They both are a pain, so it doesn't matter, right? I could say that. I used to be a CBO. I know it's your world, but still a pain. So, joking aside, it is hard sometimes to get the true information that you want without asking for a lot of reports or digging and digging and digging. The kids platform allows this information to be broken out based on what you need and the items that you need to know. So Eddie's going to walk us through a couple of exercises. And literally, he will make us do some exercises. No one has to run, right? A little bit of running? Okay. See, you know what you're going to be into here. So Eddie's going to come up. He's going to walk you through the kids platform. And again, if you have never looked at this platform, just know it's an amazing platform. It's a one-of-a-kind platform in the country, pretty much. And it's so good with the team that's putting it together that Fresno County Office of Ed is now signed on, and Tulare and Oh, San Luis Obispo's looking at signing on. Look at that. So and the reason they're all signed on is because it provides great information. You will see, as Eddie demonstrates, you could click and drill down real quickly, whereas with QSS and QCC, you have to run reports specific to that line or specific to something. So this will allow you to get an easier way of approaching it, much easier. So, oh, look at that. Oh my God, you already have little. You're going to make my presentations look like crap, right? No? Oh, this is my presentation. Kissing my you-know-what. Okay. Here we go. Let's start it off already. All right, so if you have questions, are you going to take questions, or are you going to be that kind of presenter and not allow?
There's plenty of questions. Yeah, we're taking questions. We're taking everything, all of the above. Whatever you need, whatever you want.
Okay, if you have questions for Eddie, raise your hand. He'll stop. But we do have a cutoff time. We know, not 4 p.m.
Only 5 minutes.
Only 5 minutes, yeah. All righty, here's Eddie.
All right, thank you, John. So we're going to be hopping into the kids platform, as John said, and we've also got some activities that we'll be doing before we hop into the platform. But before we do, this is kind of the overarching idea, the goal, what we're trying to accomplish today. So kids is the source of data for KCSOS, and our goal in this presentation is to highlight examples of cross-departmental collaboration and how the platform can meet your needs internally with the Ops dashboard. One of the big things that I want to kind of emphasize is that when we look at what is possible, not only with the kids platform, but with all of the relationships that we build throughout this process, it takes me to something that Cameron said just last week. He said, really what the whole platform is about is accelerating and amplifying the good things that are already happening in our organization. And so as we go through this, really look at it through that lens, especially when you realize that it could also amplify and accelerate how we handle our internal work through the Ops dashboard. But before we do get started, I have a couple of questions. So we started, so this is the iteration of a couple of presentations that have already taken place. And John had told me, I'm not sure if he was joking, but he said, you can't ask questions unless you have prizes. So my friends, we do have prizes. However, with that said, John, if I have to give prizes, I have to ask more difficult questions as well. So the first question is just to warm up, John's first leadership, all leadership meeting, where was it? Where was John's first all leadership meeting? At the Beale Library, thank you very much. Some finger snaps. We're gonna get a little bit more advanced. John, what was the follow-up question is, why was it at the Beale Library? This one comes with a legit prize. Is that correct? So our office used to be at the side of the library. John, are we still doing the prize, the giveaway prize? The 7-day John special? So our first prize they were giving away is you actually get John's parking spot for this next week. So finger snaps. John knows that I'm notoriously cheap, and he's like, no, Eddie, we got to give them an actual real prize, okay? So going back into it, though, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Back during John's first all-leadership meeting as new superintendent, he shared a video highlighting this man. Who was this man? Talk amongst each other, because my dear Jonathan here has a random name picker, and he's going to be picking people from this crowd. So go ahead, give you 10 seconds, talk amongst each other. All right, we're bringing you back, and this one goes to somebody from facilities. Somebody from facilities, a ranking member from facilities. What is our answer? Where are my facilities people? Hands up. Somebody from facilities. We weren't here. No worries, no worries. Pick another one, another random one. Anybody working with SELPA? We have a SELPA person? Nobody? So I'm gonna take somebody to raise their hand. Anybody raise their hand? First hand up. Lisa Vargas. Leo Hart. And Leo Hart, thank you very much. Give her some points, please. Again, there's some points attached to this. Your departments are gonna be winning something from here. Correct. We're gonna amp it up one more level before we bring it into the current time. This is pretty wild, all right? So Leo Hart became KCSOS superintendent in 1939. During Leo's tenure, KCSOS had the most technologically advanced mobile media labs for students in the country, created by a doctoral candidate at Columbia University named Jig McPherson. Dug out the first public school in Kern County with help from local students. Recruited only the best educators from across the state, including the head of chemistry department at San Jose State, to design a cosmetics class where children made toothpaste, mascara, lipstick, etc. Created a unique aviation class that included a classroom set in an actual C-46, a flight simulator, and small engines for students to study, all of which was for our most disenfranchised students, or all of the above. This is a big one. Show me on your hand, or raise your hand if you got the answer for that. That's it? Only these guys? I'm not going to ask you. Anybody, go for it. It is. It's all of the above, and it's pretty crazy. When I was looking at the info, it was pretty crazy because I was looking at it and I was like, wait a second. So if I look, and John, you always like to throw mention with our, when I tell people we have a zoo or a living museum, people are always kind of like, wow, you guys have that? And then when I go back and look at what they were doing 70, 80 years ago, it's like, man, innovation is rooted in our DNA. So like these powerful conversations of great, amazing things that your teams, your departments are doing, et cetera, like these are things that have been happening for over 70 years. And it's pretty humbling knowing that we're a part of something much larger than ourselves. And department. Internal business. All right, so hopping into the modern era, what's going, and just in case you don't believe me, these are the actual photo receipts of what was going on here at KCSOS in the 1940s. It was at the Sunset Camp in Weed Patch right outside of Arvin. Thank you, Lisa. All right, so we're hopping into the modern era and we look at what work looks like within KCSOS now. And what I want to mention is that, again, what's happening with kids, some of the good things that we're sharing today, some of the things that are happening with the ops module are only possible with really like the level of talent that comes into this organization. Just like way back in the 1940s, Leo Hart had great talent that was coming in here. Same thing's happening today with Dr. John Mendeborough. So first big question, working with Alyssa Reed and School of Legal Service, our team developed a contract that supports unique regional collaboration and data sharing, created a new JPA, another JPA, facilitated legal communities of practice, or all the above. I won't do random, I'll just let you go ahead and raise your hand. I saw you. Close, but no, not all the above this time. Anybody else? Pick a random one if nobody gets brave. Educator development? Malika? Support unique regional collaboration and data sharing. That is true, give her a point. So what's pretty cool about this is when you step back and you look and you wonder, John mentioned a little while ago that we have this new contract coming out with Fresno, Tulare, and Kern. It's that this contract is super unique, it's super innovative in the way that it's bringing in districts and county offices, but it's also it's what Kern does. And if you want to know what that actually looks like, it's pretty cool because just this last Friday, this is our Power Users Network. Shout out to the college career team who had a big presence there. College career, finger snaps, where are we at? Woo! And we also have Fresno partners there who are already participating and being a part of that work. And what did they actually share in that project? We had our Jacob, who was sharing this really cool, innovative GIS work he's doing. And what our Fresno counterpart said was, that's what we've been trying to do for years, but it was amazing to see somebody walk up there and show us what we've been trying to do. And then we also had our Cassandra Beck, a really phenomenal developer, who was showing what she's doing with EduClaim. But here's where it's crazy. Like we said, way back in the day, Leo Hart was recruiting and bringing in all these amazing people. Our Cassandra Beck used to work at Facebook. So if you're wondering, like, how is it possible for them to be able to do these types of things? It's like, oh, it's because we have Cassandra Becks, we have Jacobs in the house. While rolling out the kids platform to the Blake Elementary School District, the kids team provided which of the following? On-the-spot coaching support for the new Blake teacher, collaborative days of learning with the STEAM and SACE department, deeper support on all things CalPads to ensure data is up to date, or all the above? You raise your hand, go for it. 4, she says, all the above. She did, yes, all the above. And then your department? Ed development. So ed development is taking an early lead. What I want to call out here, again, when we're talking about like high-powered recruitment, people who are doing amazing things, our Chelsea Lancaster actually created the curriculum for the Lawrence Livermore Lab Foundation, which is like a big nationwide global organization. But that doesn't stop her from showing up on the last Friday before Christmas to do a hands-on STEAM camp with the kids out at Blake while we're rolling things out. Again, because that's kind of what, what KCSOS does and what people at Kern have been doing for well over, 70 years now. I got a couple more questions. So my EduClaim team, across division team has met the following milestones. If you are with the EduClaim team and you're here, raise your hand real quick. 1, 2, 3. All right, the EduClaim team established a secure connection between kids and EduClaim, successfully ran EduClaim locally, enabling collaborative development, began collaboratively refining the prototype with input and feedback, all of the above. Hand up if you got the answer. 4, all of the above. Jonathan, give her some points. All right, I got a couple more questions for you. One of them that's going to segue right into our activity. This one, working with Luis and the Social Academic Support Department, kids, members, or memers, they make memes, Jennifer and Jonathan, created a TK-12 curriculum of resources, supported data-informed Tier 1 strategies to support best first instruction, facilitated communities of practice, or all the above. Luis is not allowed to answer this one. Close, but no, this one is not all the above. 2, let's see. And that is correct. But you wrote the grant recently, didn't you? That's why you wrote the grant. She had an inside lane on the information. And then this one I think is going to be my favorite because this one highlights, and if there's a call to action that I'm giving you today, it's that we really depend on you all, not only for your feedback, similar to we're going to give you the opportunity at the end to give us feedback on the ops dashboard, but we really depend on you for how we're able to carry this work out. This work here definitely would not have been possible without Kurt because we have our own kind of limitations with how we operate externally, and this man was able to pull all of this across the finish line for us, but here we go. KCSOS, School Community Partnerships, and Kids member Deshant have achieved a direct connection to the state foster systems, cross-mapping for high mobility students, designing a system with input from social workers and case managers, or all of the above. Hand up if you got it. And yes, that is Deshant over there. Somebody from maintenance and ops, what would it be? Somebody yelled out 4? 4? Name and division, or department, sorry. M&O, all right, cool. Give them the M&O points. All right, and here is our last one. Where's Gary at? Gary and Joe. Yeah, I told you this picture wasn't going to come out anywhere. I lied. It did come out somewhere. How often should you be signing into the Kids Op module? Every day, once a month, once a year. What's an ops module? Every day. Hands up if you got it. You don't need it. You don't need every day. Every day might be a little bit overkill, although I like it. I like the. All right, go for it. 2 more points for new teacher development. Once a month. So you really should be signing into this at least once a month. If you're doing it weekly, perfect. If you're doing it every day, you're doing the Lord's work there. But at least once a month, and you should be signing up once a month before it comes to working with your budget development analyst. So Jonathan Medina has already spoken with his analyst, and really the goal is that you're able to come in, be able to speak to the language a little bit more, have a better understanding of where your work is as you jump into that work, and that's where we are headed pretty soon here. So first, this is QSS, or what did you say, John? You said there's multiple names, right? QSS, QCC, QSCC. And this is what it looks like, all right? And give me a thumbs up. You could hide it too if you haven't been on there, but give me a thumbs up if you've been on your QSS. All right, awesome. What the ops module is meant to do is it's not meant to replace what you're seeing in QSS. And so I want to make sure I address that kind of some of the concerns I'd heard initially was, wait, no, like, so we're not doing QSS anymore. No, we're still doing QSS. However, the ops module gives you the opportunity to kind of condense and synthesize that information in a way that's palatable, digestible, and actually even a little bit more visually appealing in support of being able to look at your contracts. So all of this information here at the top is what it looks like in QSS. That bar at the bottom shows you what it looks like in kids. All those numbers line up. So when you're looking at this work, really it's not about you knowing all the nitty-gritty components of where your budget is. It's more so you knowing the higher level pieces, such as what it actually is, what your balances are, what your encumbrances are, what your working budget is, so that you can proactively make some of the changes before you might expend something in one of your budgets. So one of the biggest pieces that Jonathan was saying to me was people should be logging in so they could see, where do I have budget left, so I can in advance start moving things around, rather than coming back a month or two down the line and saying, hey, I went over, can we fix this? Like, we can go ahead and move forward and start planning some of that together. All right, so I'm going to give you a little tour of what that budget looks like in the kids platform, and then we're going to be doing something we call dashboard bingo. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to visit our budget, we're going to navigate the filters, then we're going to go through visiting the expenditures, drilling down, etc. And again, I'm going to walk you through all of that. We're also giving you some points with that because there will be a prize at the end for the department who is able to get through that and has the most points. But before we do get there, Jonathan, who's winning right now? Ed Development is in the lead with 3 points. Right behind Ed Development, we have Internal Business. Nice, with 2. So still we can still catch them. We're right there. Jonathan, you're up. All right, so here what Jonathan's navigating to is he's navigating to your ops budget. So click on the dashboard for me real quick, Jonathan, and then show them the path again. So you go into your dashboards, you're gonna be able to go into KCSOS operations, and then up there you see finance. Finance is gonna tell you your budget, expenditures, encumbrances, revenue, budget monitoring. What's really slick about what you're gonna see today is that the actual gentleman who developed this is in the room, and he created a smooth little survey for us where he'll be able to support what the changes are needed for anything as you go through it. So if you go into the platform and you're like, hey, this would be good, or this is something that we're thinking of that would potentially support the work, our Gary is here. And so Gary, if you could give him a little wave. So Gary actually created this entire dashboard. This is his baby. He was working pretty closely with Jonathan Medina, Joe Salazar. Where's Joe at? Joe, if you could. Same guy in the picture. And then where's our Christian Shannon? Christian. And then Christian had a big input into it. So you go into your dashboards, KCSOS operations, and then click on the budget overview so they can see what that looks like, Jonathan. As you go into your budget overview, you're going to see that it's pretty straightforward. A lot of the little links and things that you're going to see in there, you could actually click through it and go a little bit deeper. But the biggest thing that you really want to dive into, and what's going to be important for you today, is that you could filter through a lot of this data. So Jonathan, can you go to filter data for me? And then you could see that you could filter it depending on if you have multiple administrators that you're working with. You could filter it by administrators, by the fiscal year. That's important for you to be able to go back and see where you were in previous years, by your site, resources, object grouping, and then kind of keep scrolling down a little bit more, Jonathan. And it has everything: project year, service type, district. It's a lot. It's a lot of good information that you can dive deep into. But for my purpose right now, I want to go back a year because I think that's going to amplify a little bit more how useful this would have been for me. So I'm going to go back into 24, 25. And then, Jonathan, if you could select one budget for me, I want you to select my HQIM budget from last year. So it'll be site, and then it'll say it's the last one all the way down. So this shows what my actual budget looked like last year. And being a little bit transparent here, it was a challenging situation that we were in because the state had said, hey, don't waste all your money because we're going to potentially give you guys more years. And then they came back and said, blow all of it. All 8 million, all of it. Like, is that possible? Is it possible with a team of 7 to blow 8 million or to spend wisely 8 million? Let's go into expenditures, Jonathan. And then you can go in, you can go deeper, you can look at it as expenditures by object, kind of scroll down so that they could see what the different components are. You can click on those different bar graphs and they'll take you a little bit deeper. Don't click on it, don't. And then go back up to expenditures, and I want you to go to expenditures by vendor. So what one of my biggest challenges last year is that we basically were paying for armies of people to do work for us everywhere else outside the state. So many people, in fact, that I can't even show how many vendors were out there. It says the percentage by vendors too high, but keep going down a little bit further. A little bit further, a little bit further. This right here is the magic of what would have made my life a gazillion times easier. So we were a small team. We had 7 people. We had a secretary. We had a facilitator. But really tracking, again, what 8 million would have looked like going out, it was always constant requests going to secretaries, going to our facilitator, going into things like QSS. But scroll up a little bit more so I can see the numbers. No, sorry, go down, and then I want to see the top people at the list. There we go. So you'll see right there, it shows who our vendors were. One of them was a platform that we were paying. We paid them over $1 million that year. You see the next one, we had a consultant. We paid them over $4,000. But the next one are people who we worked with, teachers that we worked with. So what was pretty cool about this entire process with this grant, again, is we had teachers all across the state that we were paying, and I didn't even realize the level at which some of these people were working with us. So that name there that says Valerie Shea, the third one down, I knew she was doing a ton of work for us. I didn't realize that it was $78,000 worth of work for us. If I had been able to go in here and see it more in real time, it would have been like, I would have written her a thank you note for the amount of work she had done for us in Southern California. Click on it and go a little bit deeper into Valerie Shea's. And so if you're wondering, like, well, what exactly did you pay Valerie Shea for? Boom, this is like the entire, these are all the invoices. She was running workshops for us, conferences for us. She was writing lessons for us, vetting lessons for us, just going all out, doing the whole nine. Our work really wouldn't have been possible without having somebody like Valerie Shea in Southern California doing that. There's another one very similar to this, to a gentleman that was doing that work for us in Northern California. But I'm going to show you 2 more features before I kind of unleash you with what your first task is going to be. Click on the download page or the little download feature. So one of the niftiest things that probably would have made life easier for myself, for my secretary that last year, was as basic as this little download Excel. So go ahead and click it. I could have very easily, and then go ahead, go back to the dashboard. I could have very easily brought down real-time information on how much we'd paid. One of the biggest challenges, again, with putting out so many payments was, wait, did so-and-so get paid? Did this person get paid? How much did we pay them? Go check the spreadsheet. At that time, our spreadsheets were multiplying. It was crazy. It's like, oh, we'll put them all in one spreadsheet. Wait, is this version 1 or is this version 2? No, that's the one that we were working on last week. No, this is the new master spreadsheet, 000 master spreadsheet for life. When the entire time, I could have just literally gone in here, downloaded it, and then boom, here's your most current and up-to-date information. So go back to the Prezi for me, Jonathan. So this is what your first thing is going to, this is what you're going to do first. We're going to give you about 10 minutes. We want you as teams right now. You're going to go, this is our dashboard bingo. First thing you want to do is you want to visit your budget overview. You all will have access to log in, but you may not all have a budget. So you're going to have to rely on whether it's a coordinator that has a budget, a director, executive director, et cetera. But I would coalesce around them. You want to make sure you go into visit your budget overview. You want to navigate your filter data, view a specific site, view a specific year. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into visit your expenditures by vendor, the same thing that I showed you right now. You're going to scroll through your vendors, explore where your spending is going. You're going to drill deeper into one of your vendors, basically what I did with our Valerie Shea. And then you're going to go down into the Excel file for one of the vendors, and you're going to share it with your team. So download a file, share it with them. So we're going to give you 10 minutes to dive into this right now. We have a great team of kids members who are here. If you're with the kids team, stand up for me real quick. Don't be shy. They're super modest too. Give them a round of applause for me real quick, if you could do that. They know it's coming every time, and they're like, oh, don't do it, Eddie. So if you need help, they'll be walking around to help support you get there, but your goal is to hit those 4 right now. We're gonna give you 10 minutes, and DJ, cue the playlist, let's go. Testing, testing. Can you put that?
Awesome.
Hey, everybody. Real quick, we still got about 4 more minutes left on this challenge. If you have already accomplished these things, make sure you let one of the kids members know because you are getting points. So if you say, hey, I already did this, I'm done, let my team members know so you can get your points. Ready? Okay. You got about 30 seconds left. You're doing encumbrances. All right, if I could get everybody back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, thank you. Everybody clap once, twice, 3 times. Thank you, thank you. All right, so we are back. And Jonathan, can you go and click over one more so they can see the next series of challenges? Whoops. Let's see. I'll go for you. I got it. Doom, doom, doom. We're flying through the future. All right. So the next set of challenges is we're going to dive into the encumbrances. And again, this was Jonathan Medina's, one of his biggest asks was make sure they're going into their encumbrances so they have a solid understanding of where it is that they're going to be spending money. And then again, the idea of being able to see what you've spent with a goal of potentially getting ahead of things like, hey, this is where a little bit of money is. This is where there's not a little bit of money. I need to move money from here to there with the goal of being proactive. So we're going to be visiting our encumbrances for the current year. You're going to be scrolling through your current budget to see where you have money available. You're going to organize your encumbrances based on your vendor. You're going to do number 7 as well, select an encumbrance, see the transactions that have been made. You're going to explore any additional features. But the other thing that you have to do as well is you're going to have to download a spreadsheet and email it to your team. We are giving points for all of this. The way that we're setting it up is the first group that's done and has it set up, they're letting us know, and then that team is getting 5 points. The second group that has gone through that as a team is getting 4 points. The next team is getting 3 points, 2 points, and then 1 point. All right, Jonathan, could you go into the kids platform so they can... So scroll over to encumbrances. Actually reset it. So he's going to reset it right now because you'll notice again that that was what I was looking at last year. So I was looking at 2024, 2025. We're going to go into the current year. You're going to get out of the HQIM one, and we want to go into just the kids budget. So I got my actual working budget. Nifty little slider there shows that we're at 29%. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit more. You'll see what the items are and how they're set up. So I can see with my vendor name, I can see the reference number, I can see what is currently encumbered. Scroll over a little bit more, Jonathan, so they could kind of see the rest of it. I know Gary's in the room. Gary, you're probably thinking it right now. You're like, you haven't shown them that you could arrange it by... you haven't shown them that you could arrange it. So if you look at the titles, for example, where it says encumbrance remaining, click on that, Jonathan, and then it rearranges it based off of how much you have remaining or how much you've already spent through it. And you can do that across all of those different column titles. So for example, you could do it off of your vendor name, etc. You're also going to see another nifty little feature. Show them the downloaded one again real quick, Jonathan. If you wanted to be able to show an up-to-date one of where all of this spending was as of last night, you would be able to download that Excel file. Go up a little bit more. I want to show them the link that they could use to share out. And then this one right here is one of my favorite features, but it only works for people that have the same permission level that you have. So if you're, let's say, an executive director or assistant superintendent, and then you wanted to be able to share something that you found to somebody else who has that level of permissions as well, you can copy that link. So go ahead and click on copy the link. And then it will share, or it will give you a URL that you can share. So if I'm here and I'm like, hey, if this was the example I was talking about last year and I wanted my coordinator to be able to have more power at our fingertips, I would have been like, hey, Sherry, I'm going to send you, or can you look up this part of the budget? And if Sherry happened to be new, she would say, oh, how do I get there? Don't worry about it. Let me just send you the link. And then she would have that link in perpetuity so that she could go back and check it out. Or I could send her the spreadsheet. Your next steps, again, you're going to go into your encumbrances. You're going to visit for the current year, scroll through them, and you want to complete items 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once you have completed those, and you do have to email a spreadsheet to your team member, once you have that, you're going to let our team know. We're going to go ahead and give you some points. And I do want to say that right now in the lead is, I believe it's educator development, right? Educator development, where are we at? Finger snaps. You guys keep it going. So, music, DJ, you got 10 minutes, visit through them, let us know where you're at. Testing, testing. We got about a minute left. One more minute. Un minuto. One more minute. Thanks, bro. I already got this unmuted too.
Cool.
All right, if I could get everybody back in 10 seconds. You can make your way back in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everybody snap your fingers once, twice, 3 times. Da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da. The creepy. I was actually Eddie Munster when I was 5 for Halloween. That's a real thing, all right? So we've already given the points. We've got one more challenge for you, but I want to emphasize the nature of this last challenge so that you can really get an ethos of not only kind of what the team is about, but really what the entire organization is about, right? We're always talking about continuous improvement. How do we improve on the great things that we're already doing? So this is our fiscal dashboard feedback form. This was created, again, by our Gary. Gary really spearheaded the development of this. He's here with us today so that he could actually take this feedback and then improve based off of some of the things that you've seen today. So I'm going to show you some of these questions. I'm going to show you what some of these questions are. How often do you find yourself needing a quick budget check? Our goal is to empower you to answer your own fiscal questions instantly. What is the one piece of data you currently rely on a secretary or fiscal analyst to find that you would prefer to look up yourself? So really, again, empowering you and putting this information in your hands. During which phase of the school year do you feel the most blind regarding your budget status? Is it start of the year, first, second interim, year-end closing, etc.? When you log in to check your budget, which view is most useful to you? The big picture, the details, the comparison. SACS codes can be complex. Which specific segment of the account string do you need to filter or sort by the most? A couple of people already came up to us and said, hey, what's this account code, or how does this work? Those are all things that we could potentially handle for you. We're looking to expand the dashboard capabilities, and this is going to probably be one of the most important questions that you could help us answer. Which of these future you features would motivate you to use the tool down more? Do you want to drill down to POs? Do you want multi-year trends? Do you want grant tracking? Is there something else that we're missing? Complete this sentence. I would log into the dashboard frequently if I could instantly, or if it could instantly show me. Tell us what that is. And then last but definitely not least, share any thoughts, questions, comments, feedback, concerns, so that we can address those. We don't grow if we don't know, right? And so this is an opportunity for you to really be a part of the feedback process, to be able to highlight exactly what it is that you need. And then the other thing, again, everything that we shared with you from those initial stories, all of that was created here with you all, based off of like suggestions, based off of feedback throughout the process of the kids platform in general. So for this to work really well, you got to make sure that you give us your feedback so that we can continue to amplify, accelerate, and support the good work that you're doing. Gary's going to be giving you Gary's going to be letting us know who completes the surveys first, and that's where the points are coming from. So you'll be going into that bit.ly, you'll be filling out that Google form. We're going to give you about 5 minutes to do that. You could also do it off of your phone and let us know there. So you got 5 minutes. Testing, testing. All right, 1 minute. You got about a minute left. All right, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, thank you very much for submitting your feedback. It was flying in, and it was exciting to see all of that. But can we have drum rolls? Because again, we do have some prizes. A little bit louder. All right, there we go. Jonathan Davidson, our winner is
Humanities.
Humanities. Where are we at? Lisa Vargas is here. Humanities with Lisa Vargas. Give her a round of applause. So we do have a prize. We're going to be giving them some. We're going to be sending their team some donuts here, and we are pretty excited about it. Hey! What'd you guys want? A new car? I told you I was cheap. I said it right from the beginning. I was cheap, so those hopes shouldn't have been that high. And there's the parking spot for somebody, all right? So I do want to say thank you all for engaging. Thank you for signing in. Thank you for being a part of all of it. Remember, it's all continuous improvement. So if today was the first time you sign in, awesome. Then, you're going to try it again in a few weeks or next month. And it's from there, kind of keep the ball rolling and keep the platform keep the platform at the forefront to ensure that not only you have the information you need at your fingertips, but also that your teams have the information that they need at their fingertips. But thank you very much, and it is back to John.
Excellent job, Eddie. You and your team did a very nice job. With any good leader, your team is what makes you a good one. So we know it wasn't you. It was your team, right? David. Not kidding. It's a whole, it takes everyone. A couple of thanks when we talk about kids. You could see, hopefully you saw the power of the kids platform, and we just really honed in on a small portion of it, but yet a very powerful one for you as leaders here within KCSOS. But if you have time to play on that, I say play, but go around and look and click and stuff, you would be amazed on the types of reports, the type of information you can get. There are ways we can find out stuff on a student and take it all the way down to the student in the classroom and see this historical information to do good things for them. So it's very beneficial. But wanted to also acknowledge Christian Shannon, who's in the back there. Christian Shannon, he was actually one of the pioneers of the Kids platform before it was even called Kids. It was, what was it called then? Who knew it? Who knew it? Who knew that we would be better than that company? But Christian was tapped probably very hard on the shoulder by the previous county superintendent, Dr. Mary Barlow, who had this vision in her mind to bring student data together at one spot so that districts, we as a county and districts can really start analyzing students and really going down to getting to details of that student. Asked Christian to kind of spearhead that. He worked with the company Who Knew It and with a couple of pilot districts and built it to what we see today. So kudos to Christian for the foresight of seeing it. Appreciate it. And then now Cameron, Gwen, and Eddie gets to do the wonderful work of the Kids platform as we continue to grow. So kudos to you guys. If you have questions in regards to kids, please feel free to reach out. You know who the kids team is. They're on the 3rd floor. If you can't find them, go down to floor 3. They're in the back corner. You have to get clearance to see Eddie. He has there's a gate. Yeah. You don't have a parking spot, but you have a gate now. But and Amanda, we're gonna have to talk about your parking thing. It may be revoked, but anyway. No, I'm kidding. Not really. Anyway, no, I am kidding. So at this point, we're going to give you about a 5-minute break to kind of stand up, stretch, rest your fingers from all the tapping and clicking, and get more donuts, please, because humanities, that's not the donuts you'll get, so don't worry. Knowing Eddie, he'll probably send you a box, but it won't be those. So, no, you can't send them those. Eddie, man, we have to talk. About a 5-minute break, stretch, and then we'll continue on our merry way here. righty, we'll get back. You want to have Eddie help me with a time module or something, because I'm not good on time, apparently. It said 5 minutes, and it turned into, how long? 10? 15? Something like that? Maybe? All righty, our next topic is budget, which is very appropriate since we just finished going through kids' budget module, or ops. So I'm going to have Maria come up from the fiscal department, who's going to talk about next steps on the budget development. And again, if you are not one who has your hands on the budget, you are going to be involved, obviously, because your supervisors have to create a budget. So here you go, Maria.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to give a quick update. We are actively updating the budgets based on your guys' submission. So you'll hear from us soon if we need any clarified questions based on what you've all submitted. And we've also scheduled the final budget meeting. So if you haven't heard from Emily, our secretary for our department, please reach out so we could schedule that meeting. So thank you all for your collaboration. The budget development process is not an easy process, and we cannot do it without your guys' input. So thank you all.
Thank you, Maria. All right, any questions in regards to budget or budget development before we move on? And Maria, you can escape. I know you have another meeting to go to. None? Alrighty, as we go into the next fiscal year, as you know, with the state of California, the budget's all over the place. We have one group who thinks we're making tons of money. We have another group who thinks we're spending more money than we have bringing in, and we're nowhere in the middle. So as we go into next year, whatever budgets you do develop and you build upon, just know, I know everybody has to have a contingency plan on their budget. So we want to make sure that you have that plan in place. The last thing we want to do is having to lay people off and everything you're hearing in the news. We have school districts that are looking at that right now. And those are for factors that are out of their control, to be honest with you. COVID dollars, federal dollars, one-time dollars, all the stuff that just got thrown into school districts the last 3-4 years has finally finished and fizzled out. So luckily here at KCSOS, we've been ahead of that. Your departments have been really good about looking at one-time dollars and figuring out how we're going to transition into other positions or moving people into other stable spots. So as far as KCSOS goes, we've been kind of ahead of that. Now, with anything, every entity will have layoffs, just so that you know. Layoff purposes have two factors. One is if it truly is a funding source that you're hired under, or two, student ADA waves that will affect that. And then the third one is also contracts with districts. A lot of times districts will start taking back their own programs, which will affect staff at KCSOS as well. So just as we get into the budget going into 26, 27, I want everyone to be aware of what that means and how that goes. If you talk to our colleagues in the FICMAT world, they could tell you there's things going on up and down the state in regards to budgets and districts. We have a couple of districts in California that are what's called receivership, meaning they don't have enough money to even stay open at the bare minimum. They've reduced staffing all the way down to nothing, but they still have to provide services. And so they're at a point where they have to get money from the state, and then FICMAT goes in and they will monitor and kind of work with them. There's a county up north called Plumas. Anyone been to Plumas? I never heard of Plumas until Mike Fine told me about it. No, you've been? Okay, so somewhere way up north. It's a one district, one county school district. The county office is financially okay, but the district is in receivership. And so it's the first one in probably 10 years that the state's had to step in and take take over essentially. So FICMAT's up there, they're working on that. They're doing a great job. Lisa Gilbert, Dr. Gilbert, she's working with them on the curriculum side of the house. They've appointed a new superintendent from a county up north who's helping kind of turn that district around. So we're kind of seeing that trend going. I'm telling you this because not to freak you out or scare you or to try to manipulate the kids' platform to make you look better than things are. But I just wanted you to be aware that we are entering a phase where we're hearing roses are red over here, but over here violets are dead over here. So we just want you to be aware that we're somewhere in the middle in reality with the state of California. And so we just want to be proactive about it. And as we continue to move forward and our work with our school districts are becoming more and more prevalent because we are realizing, not only here as a county office, but as a county as a whole, that we work much better and much more efficiently as we come together and collectively support each other, because it does not matter where the kids live, they're all of our kids. And especially in Kern, they move a lot. So they might be in one district for 1 year, then they're in a different district and a different district. And so we just need to be proactive on that. So as you're working with districts and hearing their needs, please let us know, because our job as a county office is extremely important. And there's a lot of county offices. I've said this 100,000 times. I will say it again. There's no other there's no county office like another county office. That's obvious, right? But there is really no county office like Kern County. All of you in this room are very support driven, and it's because of that focus and drive is why we are who we are. From working with foster youth to migrant to special education to curriculum to HR to M&O, you name it. It is amazing how we collectively work together here as a county. And so when you're thinking about things like that, think about how we support. That should be the focus of what we do. Don't think of, is this something we can afford, or is this something that we can't afford? That comes next. And oftentimes we hear, and you're going to start hearing it, is, oh, we can't do it because we don't have the money for it. And during the last budget debacle, many of you in this room probably weren't even born then, but back in 2008, 2009, when the state was in that horrible budget year and the governor was recalled and all that fun stuff, many districts cut a lot of programs and removed a lot of support for students because of that. And they had to. They didn't have a choice. And one day we had $1 million coming, and the next day they were taking $2 million from us. So it was a weird time. But what we learned out of that, and what people have forgotten, is that if there's a will, there's a way. And that's what we need to be doing as a county office. If there's a will, there's a way. And the tool behind it is the collaboration that we have with our districts. And it's been very impressive to bring our districts together, and they're also wanting to share. The whole special education regional focus is testament to that. There was a need to limit or reduce the number of hours, literally hours, that a poor special education student was on a bus. 2 hours going to school and 2 hours home is not, at least for me, not the best way to handle special education students. Now they're on a bus for 20 minutes, there and back. So it's by that focus and the district stepping in and saying, hey, you can have one of our rooms, lease this, use that, we don't need this anymore. And it's those kind of opportunities that really support what we're doing. And that's what you guys are all doing. So my whole blabbing was a purpose, is when you're looking at your budgets going into next year, start thinking about how is it that we could continue doing what we're doing and supporting our districts, because they're going to need somebody to help as we move into our budgets going on in the future. As roses are red and violets are dead, there's a new tagline. Eddie, you start working on it. You have it as a slide. There you go. So just know we need to start thinking that as we move in the future, okay? Alrighty. With that, speaking of the future, we're going to talk about facilities. and we're going to bring up Christy Scoggins. Our senior director is going to give you an update of everything that's going on around our county. As I already said, we are going to be at the bell tower someday in the future. I don't know when our next meeting will be, but it'll be at the bell tower. So, Christy, it's all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, we can start with City Center elevators. So we are expecting, let's start with City Center elevators. We are expecting our final inspection on the one elevator that has been down. We're hoping that that will get finalized today, and it will be turned over to us so that we will have 2 functioning elevators this week. They will Yes, they will transition over to the 3rd one, and hopefully within the next few months they will have that completed, and then we'll be fully functioning. Yes, very exciting. The next update is bell tower. As you can see, we have some beautiful stained glass that has been going in over there. The project is coming along. We have paint, carpet, very exciting. We actually have IT in there pulling cables, installing TV mounts. So we are very excited for our upcoming April opening date. So be patient with us. As soon as we feel that we can get in there and give tours, we will definitely do that. I know we have some big events scheduled for April, and I know everybody's anxiously waiting to see what the setups will be. We are also working on each conference room layout, and we will upgrade or update those to the website so everybody can see what each room and that layout will be, which will be very beneficial as you're planning. Let me think. I don't know, I wasn't prepared for this. Let's see here. We have lots of things going on in facilities, shade structures. We have Richardson. We're adding some additional painting. Blanton, we have several projects going on at Blanton, as well as Valley Oaks. We're going to be getting started on some upgrades there with Becky. Unless anything specific by anyone else? No? All right. Well, thank you.
Good job, Christy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Let's see who else I can spontaneously call up here. A couple of things on the bell tower, just so that you are aware. First off, I'm glad they put that picture in there. That's not me up there taking out that. But we wanted to let you know, so we ran a story, an article in regards to the bell tower, and it's coming along and going to be opening. Community members, they obviously can see these articles, and we have several phone calls about that picture. And not that how cool it was and how awesome it is, but how dare we take down the original stained glass. So just so that you are aware, the original stained glass is over at Olive Knolls Church, over there in Olive Knolls. So if you want to go see the real original, you can drive over there. We did not take down or touch any of the original. I think there's one section where there's some original stained glass. But what they did was when they converted it from the First Baptist Church over to offices and restaurants, they removed all the religion-focused stained glass, and Olive Knolls, who was the current congregation that was in the church, moved it over to Olive Knolls Church with them. So people were happy to know that the window we took out was not the original. So just that you know when you see it, because there's another big one like that in what we're calling the district room, which would be the next biggest room over the bell tower. There's a huge one. You can see it on Truxton as you're driving by. It's a big logo, which I kind of find ironic that nobody called on that one. But when this gets posted, everyone thinks I'm Hitler and taking the original glass down. So just know that that's that one in regards to the bell tower. Secondly, as Christy alluded to, bell tower opening will be on April 9th. We have a scheduled ribbon cutting ceremony that will be held in the morning. we're going to be talking with senior cabinet at our next senior cabinet next week at our, or whenever our next, yeah, next week, senior cabinet. Oh, this week. This week's a crazy week, like all of you have. So we're going to talk this week. We are slating the afternoon to allow for various departments within KCSOS to go over and get a tour of the bell tower. So that way you can see it before we start, because it's already filled, poor facilities. They have 20 people that want the same room on the same day and all of that stuff. So starting April 10th, it's getting used. So we wanted to get you in before so that you can start looking. All of you are welcome to utilize the facility for any trainings or meetings that you have. You may have to have your training at 1 a.m., but you know, we can, we'll get you in there. But we will have for senior cabinet on getting some type of a schedule made so that you kind of know when your departments are able to go and visit that. We're going to have very student-centered event. We're going to have our RISE program over there with students, and Valley Oaks is going to be over there being docents and walking people around. So we're looking forward to the bell tower opening, and kudos to the facility team for getting all of that up and going. So there's that. And then Richardson, you mentioned Richardson, right? We have that. That's finished. If you have not been out to Richardson, you really should go out there. It is an amazing facility. They've transformed it. Again, Christian and Mary Barlow were walking the campus one day, and Mary tapped him on his other shoulder after he's just getting over the kid's shoulder. Then this shoulder was tapped and said, we want to get Richardson redone. And it's been phenomenal. So we're getting that ready to go here in the spring for ribbon cutting as well. So our students in preschool have a beautiful campus now that they can come to. One thing else I was going to say about facility. Parking. I can mention parking, right, Christian? Yeah. Christian's like, you mention whatever you want. I could talk about parking redoing, right? Sure. He's like, yeah, you already opened your mouth. You might as well keep going. So, City Center. How many of you love the parking at City Center? Look at that. 1, 2. Okay. Nobody else likes City Center parking? Come on. The huge posts. Yeah. Many of you have met the posts intimately. So, once the bell tower is done, that whole parking structure is part of ours too. So we have the whole thing. And since trainings are going to be moved over there predominantly over there, the summer of 2026, we're going to redo the parking structure. And so this is how it's going to work. I call them the 3 parking stall sections. So you have we can't move the cement. Sorry. We thought about that, but we can't. So if it's a 3 parking stall, it's going to become 2. Okay, so 3 will go to 2. Well, I figured, because you all know where I park, right? Well, Amanda's going to be parking there, but so I always get this nice little parking spot, and I always feel horrible because A, I shouldn't have a better parking than anyone else, but B, everyone should get to enjoy the freedom of opening your door without smacking someone next to you or waking them up from a nap or their lunch or whatever they're doing. So the 3 stall parking will become 2. The 2 stall parking is going to become 2. They're still going to stay as 2 because we still have a lot of smaller vehicles that can fit in them. Because if we make those only 1, I know you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to get a big, wide, by myself parking. Nobody will be able to park at City Center. It will be parking on the streets because there won't be enough parking. So we're going to redo it, and then we're going to make the top a little wider to get more cars. We're asking if you have an oversized vehicle, you park at the top, obviously, just so that you're not sticking way out in the drive loop when you come around. The bottom, we started redoing the bottom. There was a need to get some of that done because that's where a lot of visitors, even though the sign says go to the 3rd floor, they all park at the bottom. That will probably stay as is. Probably not going to redo that component, but once you get up the ramp and it starts coming around, we'll redo those. So there will be a little change over the summer. So we're going to do them by floors to get it done. A lot of people take vacation time 410s, those kind of schedules. So we're going to work on that. So wanted to update you on that as that's coming down the pike. Let's see, anything else? I know poor Christy, I put her on the spot. Is that it? Okay. All right, so those are information, things that are coming soon. HR. Nothing really to report out from HR. That was a topic that was on the agenda, but we're going through a lot of things with the layoffs, changes for next school year, hiring, looking at things, retirements. There's a lot going on. So you in your leadership role, if you know of anything that's happening or is going to be happening, please make sure you report it to your next person in charge so that they can get information over to HR, so we're not at the last minute trying to backpedal and fill a spot that you may thought we knew but we didn't really know, or vice versa. So especially if you have retirees, it's important for us to know that for two reasons. One is we want to make sure they get the retirement that they deserve. Sometimes they think, oh, I'm retiring next week, and they didn't realize they needed a little longer landing to get their paperwork into PERS or STIRS for that. And also they need to be recognized when they retire as well. So make sure you know that. Is there anything else, Michelle? Is that good? That's good. Okay, and then HR, this is our busiest time. Well, it was always busy in HR, but this is a busy time of year. So if you're calling and not getting a phone call right away back, it's not that they're purposefully ignoring you. It's just they're probably not at their phone because they're dealing with something else. So just be patient on that. Anything else? No? Okay. All right. Anything else? We're going to let you out early today. Gift of time. You can tell your staff you're still here, but no, I'm kidding. Gift of time. Okay, last two things I wanted to announce. Well, not last two things. Last thing I want to announce affects two people. As we were talking about changes going through KCSOS, things that are happening next school year, academic year, wanted to let you know three people, in fact, four people. I keep adding. Four. Dr. Lisa Gilbert is retiring at the end of the year. She will be becoming a full-time grandma and enjoying her time as she ends her career here at KCSOS. She's also the administrator over curriculum, or not administrator of curriculum, specialty over curriculum at Plumas. So she'll be helping FICMAT, as I mentioned earlier, up in Plumas for the next couple of years in her retirement. But she'll be retiring at the end of the academic year. Also, Desiree Von Flew, who's not here today, her and her husband are on a trip that was planned long time ago. She is retiring at the end of the year, over 30 years of service in education. I first got to know Desiree as a fellow superintendent, same with Lisa. All three of us were district superintendents at the time. And Desiree is going to be retiring and moving to Tennessee, where her family is. So we're wishing her the best as she concludes a remarkable tenure here at KCSOS. Taking her place, if you have not heard already, is Dr. Lourdes, or soon to be Dr. Lourdes Butcher. Where is she at? She leave already? Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, fine. She has other things to do. Man. Okay. Well, congratulations to Lourdes. She's going to be the new assistant soup. Anita, make sure you tell her that I tortured her. She didn't ask permission to leave this meeting, which will be kidding. I know we have leaders in life. You could go too, Amanda. You don't get my parking spot today, though. We'll have to talk. Yeah, there you go. No, I'm kidding. So Lourdes, she's going to be the new assistant soup. She started in that role January 1. Her and Desiree are overlapping for transition. School community partners will stay with Lourdes' team. She'll be taking that department with her into the new student support. Also, as you know, Cameron Gwynn has been doing a lot of stuff in regards to safety in our county for KCSOS and as a county as a whole. He has a Safe School Coalition. And so with that and working with kids, and he's our systems infrastructure person, so he's bringing everything together and making life easier for everybody. As many of you have been working with him over the last year, we have decided to make his world a true full division. Starting July 1 will be the official launch, but right now he's already in that role. He has assumed the role of Assistant Superintendent of Strategic Alignment and Safety, right? Did I get it right? Okay. So you can say, you stayed, see, you were here, you didn't go, you can stand up. That's Dr. Gwynn. So he is going to be taking that division and making it bigger and more impactful beyond just what we're doing here in Kern County, because he's been working a lot with state entities as well. So safety is our forefront of priority to make sure that all of you feel safe and secure when you come to work. And Cameron has been and will continue to be doing that for everybody. So congratulations, Cameron. Talking about safety, back to elevators. So with the elevators and with the safety, everyone's going to be getting key cards, right? Right, Britton? Britton Smith, stand up. Britton Smith has been doing, so all the cameras and Verkada and all the stuff that's getting put in, we're doing a huge, extensive makeover, so to speak, of our cameras and our security systems within KCSOS and all of our sites. So Valley Oaks, Calm, CLF, the Bell Tower, you name it, are going to all be on one standardized system. With that, how many people, well, you might all have it, but not your teams, how many have cards they could get on the door on the second floor? Oh, yeah. Now, how many of your teams get that access? Yeah, it dwindles. So once this all gets put in, every employee in KCSOS will have their own card, so they actually feel like they're part of a team, and they could get in the door. So they can access it on the second floor. They don't have to wait for you to come walking across the bridge and opening the door for them. They can also get up and down the elevators. The cards are going to be used for that. If you're over at LER, where's the CISC group? LER, you can't get up to CISC unless you have a card to get up there. So we're going to be doing that because of HIPAA rules and requirements over there. So we're going to be doing that as well. Same with CLF. I know a lot of the staff there already have it because we're sharing that building with the bank already. But all the facilities will have one universal. You can not universal get in any building, but you can get in your building now with a card in the elevators without relying on somebody else. Okay, that it? Everyone else, you're thinking like, just shut up so we can go. You already told us we get out early, and you keep wasting our time. No. Any questions at all? The next time we meet will be at Bell Tower. We haven't set next calendar year dates yet, but just know stay on a Monday. So I wanted to make sure you guys are all good with. Please take a donut on your way out. Water, coffee, whatever. Whatever you don't eat is going over to the Dream Center. So the youth over there can enjoy Merrill of the Mind, wonderful baking. So thank you, Merrill, for organizing all of this, and Michelle for getting all this taken care of. So thank you. All right, with that, have a wonderful day. Thank you for all that you do.